you always see. When you see Lord Ramachandra, you always see Sita Devi sitting by his side. Why? Because the king always had the queen sitting by his side. I've had many experiences of going to, because I lived in London for over 20 years, going to very rich Indian people who are Vaishyas and asking them for donations. Almost without exception, unless they happen to be really a little intoxicated. As soon as I say, can we talk about supporting this project? If his wife wasn't there, he would immediately call his wife. Because they won't make a decision without the wife say so. So I'd have to make sure that I already had a discussion with the wife first before you go to the husband. Because if she says yes, then although he may be making the money, but she knows where the money should be going, and she has say. Ultimately, she's a representative of Lakshmi Devi. He's bringing in the Lakshmi, but she's the Lakshmi herself, so she's the one who has the say. And so many examples you'll find in Puranas, Mahabharata, and so on. And then, of course, aside from, and I'm looking at the time, aside from this actually being a duty or a function of women executing, as it's stated here at the end, follow the vows of the husband. Follow the vows of the husband means the husband is a Kshatriya, a leader. Rare souls, real leaders, not someone who's just declared to be a leader. He's a temple president, he's a GBC, but someone who has the qualities of a leader, someone who's like a Parikshit Maharaj or Maharaj Yudhisthira. So those duties that he follows, she also follows. And here the statement is relevant because sometimes she may actually be a Brahmani. It happens. But still, she should follow the same duties as he does. And of course, that's another feature. Krishna makes this statement in the 11th canto, just a little off the theme, is that the husband and wife should be of the same varna. If a woman is more intelligent than a man, which happens sometimes often, it becomes very difficult for men to psychologically adjust to such a thing. And if women don't sublimate their extra intelligence, then it becomes a source of friction in the family. That's why generally the men and women should be of equal rank, equal varna, or the woman lower. Or at least Krishna gives the advantage. First wife should be the same, second wife should be one step lower, third should be lower than that. And whereas this is a detail of Varnashram, this is a Swarup, a Tatashta Lakshan, that a man can have more than one wife, we see that Srila Prabhupada stopped that. It's not compulsory. It's not an essential feature of Varnashram. Why? In Kali Yuga, men are happy if they can keep one wife happy, what to speak of many, or that they can actually provide and give shelter for one. So, of course, the other feature, aside from women not just having the role, their primary training is as being wives and housewives, but secondary to that, they also have role according to their particular varna. And in addition to that, in terms of the Krishna consciousness movement, it's now when we're talking about ISKCON and Daivi-varnasrama, there's also service. There's both service and then, of course, the service of preaching. Now, you will not have children. In fact, just yesterday I was talking to one young man. He was 18 years old, asking me what his varna was and how he wants to go to school and get married and so on. And I asked him, have you ever lived in a brahmacharya ashram? He said, no. I thought, why are you asking me about varna? Someone who doesn't go to brahmacharya ashram is a shudra. You already read that earlier. Vaishya, Kshatriya, Brahman, they automatically go to Gurukula. And if you're not fortunate enough to go to Gurukula when you're very young, then at least the brahmachari ashram should serve as that type of training ground. Without that type of training, what kind of grihastha will someone be? This is a scientific process. It's personality training, it's personality development, not so much learning a profession. That can come at any time, or that you can do quite easily, just like most of the wealthy people I referred to earlier. I don't know any of them that went to university. They got lots of honorary PhDs from universities they financially support, but some of them never even got into high school, what to speak of university. If you got it, you got it. If you're a leader, then you're a leader. If you're got the karma to make money, then you can make money from a rat. You know, Prabhupada gives the story of just father gives the son a rat and he says, go start a business. So if you're Vaishya, you'll start a business with a rat. Obviously, it's the cat business you start off with, and from there you work up. Anyway, I won't digress too much. But it becomes, it's fundamental, unless in our Krishna consciousness movement, as Srila Prabhupada introduced this concept of brahmacharini, that our ladies also have training in terms of preaching, service, deity worship, and so on. How will they inspire their children to do the same? How will they inspire their sons to do the same? If they didn't distribute books, then how are they going to say, when you grow up, I want you to be a book distributor? Otherwise, if they're going to be professionals, then they're going to say, when you grow up, I want you to get a degree in university. And once you got your BA, then get your MA. And once you got your PhD, then you get your PhD. And after that, you can get and be unemployed. Because that is what they're going to be training, and that is what they're going to be giving. But they must also have that type of training. So no, women are not excluded from temple service. They're not excluded from preaching. In fact, it's integral for our missionary movement to continue and for Krishna conscious movement to be a mission. It has to be there. How that's established, and is it different than the format that we have at present? Time will tell, but certainly there has to be a phasing in time. What were my notes here? So, yatra ya lakshanam proktam. I mentioned that I would read that verse. It's a verse that devotees do well to know. Prabhupada quotes it very often. It's the 35th verse of this chapter. Yatra ya lakshanam proktam pungso varnami vyanjakam yad anyatrapi drishyeta tatte naiva minirdishet. If one shows the symptom of being a Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra as described above, even if he has appeared in a different class, he should be accepted according to those symptoms of classification. So I mentioned that this refers very much to Varnas, but it refers to a general principle. This concept of identifying things according to their lakshana is a universal characteristic. That's why this idea of Swarup Lakshan, Tatastha Lakshan, how you identify a thing, how you identify the Supreme Personality of Godhead, everything has those particular characteristics. So similarly here, we have the characteristics of what are women. We have characteristics also of what are men. Men are not defined biologically in Bhagavatam. They're also defined by their lakshana. They're suitable examples for others to follow, especially the rest of their family. They know the purpose of the human form of life. They're self-controlled, and they give shelter. They give shelter to those who are their dependents. That's a man. So a man is not automatically a male. That's a gender issue. But a man or a male human being is someone who has the qualities of a human being. So sometimes the